we talk about our level 4 membership, and I'm going to give you a peek at our if you stick around, watch this, and you watch the short-term view, I'm going to give you a little idea of the difference between the charts I normally show you and what our level 4 members get. So our level 4 membership, we're offering a trial right now, and this is for active traders and investors and includes Slim's charts. Yes, that's me, and the charts that I work on every single day, and you can have that to load on your TOS platform, the 84 best traded symbols. In addition to that, you get support from me and Arvi and Matt. You can make chart requests outside of those 84 stocks, and we do the analysis on them for you. That's for level 4 members only. That we do that. And if you become a level 4 member, you get everything else. Level 3 content, you get our new trading ideas, which we give you 1 to 4 every day. Our results, and I don't really want to use the word results, but the favorable versus unfavorable numbers are just fantastic. And you're going to love looking at what we supply to you every single day in there. So it's built around cycle projections, momentum, key support, resistance levels, and that is meant to really improve your results. So the holding periods are 3 weeks plus that we look in there mostly. Occasionally we do a short-term trade, 1 to 3 weeks, and we let you know if that's the case. And we give you all of this so that you can support your own analysis, support your trading plan. When we look at this. So that's all the level 3 content, specifically level 4, level 3, and of course if you become a level 4 member, you're going to get everything in level 2 and level 1. That's our stock index report, daily report that we put out, all the major index support resistance levels, and our live stream. And I'm going to show you the live stream live in a couple minutes in here. You're going to get nearly 500 videos in 8 categories in our library for traders and investors. You can just binge watch that if you just want to be in this for 1 month, where you take the special trial. And you're going to get future speak and market week minutes that you can go directly to each of the locations of our analysis on those videos, and really helps you run through them pretty quickly. And you get everything in level 1, our weekly stock index report, our weekly ETF review, and coming soon, which we're working diligently on to bring you as an investor, our momentum tracker, which you'll be able to use to really get a sense for the conditions of 1,000 plus symbols that you invest in. So that's coming soon. We'll be bringing that as a beta test. All of that, man, I almost couldn't breathe while I was saying that. Amazing amount of great content to you. You can get that right now, right to Matt for our special links on all our trials that we have. And if you want level 4, 1 month trial is just $73.50. That's half price to get all of that information I just said to you. Levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of my charts, all of the support that we can bring you. Right, Matt at askSlim.com. That's Matt at askSlim.com. Matt is doing a fantastic job. Arvi's doing a fantastic job. Our new guy, Brian, who is bringing you just tons of information, is doing a great job. So we have a great team, plus the team that manages our membership and the website. So all of that, you can support us by becoming a trial member. Really take a look at all of this, and you can see everything that is on level 4 when I look at that. Can you imagine all of this information to you? It will really help you so much to improve your odds of success. And that's our goal. And my goal is I share forward what I learned over these 45 years in the markets. Level 4, half price, just $73.50. Right, Matt at askSlim.com. All right, I have lots here to show you as we move into our look at at something very different in here, a different look, a special look at the 5 major markets. The reason I wanted to do this is because I just showed you what our level 4 membership looks like. So I wanted to bring you some of the analysis that's in our level 4 charts for the indexes and for these futures, so you could get an idea. So we're going to bring up, as we always do, these shorter term charts. And here is light crude and the normal daily chart that I show you with the cycle patterns on there. But I'm going to show you some other things in here also. So I always want to be accountable, and we've changed this a little bit because I'm looking out 1 to 3 weeks right now and showing you the sum of the evidence looking forward. Regarding how it tracked overall, even in the face of those big swings, we're going to get about 75% accuracy this week. The one that we really missed was the dollar, that the panic put it through the levels pretty significantly that we expected it to stall at. And gold market, we missed by a little bit because it panicked also through the 1600 level. We thought it would be 1573, and then it would pull back to about 1520. So it has a little higher track in there, but following very much what we thought. So now let's look at what we're looking at right now. Again, we're looking at really 1 to 3 weeks out, and the sum of the evidence really focusing on momentum and lots of other things I'm going to show you right now that you have not seen before unless you're a level 4 member. So here is light crude. Now, we're going to do deeper analysis now than we normally do. This is the minor cycle that you see in the bottom here. And it made a very bullish cycle right in here, and it was swamped. What that said to us was that, you had the strong upward momentum, and it exploded up on that news and then came down and broke this level. That's not good, and it indicates a pretty major top. In fact, this is an island that you see right in there, and that coming down to this upward trend in this channel makes sense to us. So when I look at this, it looks to me like we're going to get some choppy action in here and probably break below that uptrend sometime out towards the end of January. So when we look at this, the sum of the evidence is suggestive of an important top, and we think sell the bounce that we get in here, and there's room for a bounce in there until the end of January. So let's look at things that I don't normally show you. I'm going to advance this chart now to the next chart, which is a momentum chart and has some very significant indicators on there. So our members receive our option bias study that you see on the bottom. This is the askSlim option bias indicator. And this tells you the condition of the market, really mostly short term. And this shows you that it was when it's way up here at P3, that's what we call P3, positive 3, and giving you little signs of slightly overbought, it's really in a strong condition, especially when it matches up with the positive momentum that you see up on top here. So now what's happened is that momentum got lost. You can see that arrow right over there, and it's having trouble rebounding here in the projection oscillator. So this is still showing positive. It's suggestive of the fact that on a short-term basis, we could get a little bounce in there, but overall, with the upward momentum lost, you're probably not going to be able to make much upside. Still, the condition is positive, okay? So it gives you a little better sense that there's not likely to be any strong declines from here after it's corrected that big bounce, and that upside is likely not going to be able to go very far because of the loss of the momentum condition. So now I'm going to advance it again for the shorter term traders, and here is a 2-hour chart, and what this gives you is the askSlim market condition indicator, which is even a shorter term indicator, and it tells you that the conditions are still strong in here. However, we have a condition of a negative trading bias. What that says is that it will likely give you more downside than upside for short-term traders. So there's a sell pending in here on the projection oscillator. And if we got a little bit of a bounce in here, you'll probably move down again. That's in alignment with what I showed you on the daily. So what that really says to me, if you're looking at the total sum of the evidence in here of all time frames, that here on the daily chart, you're probably going to get a bounce. It's not going to be able to go very far. And if you do, very short-term traders can take that bounce for a short side trade. That's a look at light crude, looking at 3 different charts: a cycle chart, a momentum chart, and a 2-hour chart for the purposes of short-term trading. Let's do the same thing as we go through the gold market, /GC. So here is your gold chart, and it exploded up here. Now, it's not showing the overnight 1613 number that's in there, just simply because of the way the continuous chart works. On the daily chart, on the weekly chart, it shows that. So the high right over here it's showing is 1580-ish approximately. Here's a support zone. We think that gold can fall down to 1636, potentially down to 1536, 1520. This is all a buy zone in here. We think it's got another week where it's going to come down and then turn up again, and then try to get through those highs or to those highs again. So this is a buy zone. We're going to look for a week where it continues to try to chop to the downside and gives us this buying opportunity that we're looking at in here. Take a look here, and you'll see in the momentum conditions, the momentum is still strong. So when you look at this, let me just give you a clearer look at this. When momentum is strong in here and gold was moving up, each time the projection oscillator got here to the oversold condition, it was a buy. There was one time right over here, you see those 2 orange, that's a top warning when you get that. That's called a P1 orange, extreme overbought condition, and you see it made the top right in there. So that was a good warning. You got the same kind of a warning here, a P1 condition, very overbought. When these are red and you get these sell indicators, it then likely is going to move down like you saw right there, and I think like you see right over here where you get that sell and it moves down. Right now we're in a condition of positive momentum that you can see. There is a buy pending in here, but you see it really sitting down here and it's weak. And you got that top warning. Now it's neutral, but you got that top warning. That just says to me that, it's not quite ready to move yet to the upside. So we're going to look for a little potential zigzag in here before we get that buying opportunity. Here is the momentum in here for the 2-hour. Now, this is important on the market condition indicator. You had a positive cross right over there, which says the conditions of the market are subject to longer-term trends, giving it really strong support. Here you see this upward arrow here is showing you that every single time it gets oversold, it's a buy. Right here, right here. There was a buy pending here, but it got aborted because of this. So it lost its upward momentum. So this isn't a buy or a sell. It's just simply a wait, and that's where we are right now. We're actually waiting to get a buy condition. And you can see the beauty of these signals. Buy it here, screamed on the upside. Buy it here, it screamed on the upside. Just great signals on these 2-hour charts. So the sum of the evidence that we're looking at in here is that we're correcting, and correcting in an uptrend. With the intermediate patterns very strong, we think another upside trade is coming, and we've got kind of mixed things going on in the short term. We're just going to wait. We're going to see what settles out in the next week. But we think the next trade is going to be to the upside in there. And we see momentum in there is still strong in the gold market. Let's switch over to the dollar market, $DXY. And this is in a choppy condition that we're looking at in here. This one we got wrong because we thought that it would stop right in this area. And you see it moved up through to this upper sell zone right over here. And kind of this minor resistance right here. So this is a spot it should stop. We're going to look for it to move down in here into this area over the next week. Momentum conditions in this are not great. Here you'll see in here is they remain red. There's a sell pending in here. And you could see all the times when it was green in here and all of the buy signals that came right here, positive condition right over here. And then the top warning that came right there. So the top warning came on the option bias study, and that made your top right there. And then we went into some sell conditions a couple of times right there. and they actually sell got aborted at that point. The bottom warning right there, right on the spot where it made the bottom, and now we're in a sell pending area right over here where it looks like there will be a downward turn. And again, I looked at that right over here on the cycle. We're expecting that downward turn from resistance, and this negative momentum is suggestive of that. Now, we're in a period in here where we have some very short-term 2-hour upward movement in here, but it's very weak in this buy pending period. And look at the weakness here in the askSlim market condition indicator. It could barely turn up. So this is all indicating to me some short-term internal weakness, and that the likelihood that that rally that we saw in here in a panic on the upside is likely to stop. So we're going to call the sum of the evidence in here as a major breakdown on the intermediate and some choppy period coming as we look at a decline and another rally and trading between the mid 97s and the high 96s right in there for quite a number of weeks in there. But right now we think it's going to be down. And that's going to align with the potential bounce we're looking at in gold starting in about 4 or 5 days. So overall, we think that the dollar is going to be weak and turn down again. /ZB is the next one we're going to look at. This one, beautiful cycle action that you can see in here. It's in a minor rising phase that it failed in that resistance zone as it should. We're really looking at some sideways choppy action in here and then moving down again over the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's really the way that aligns. Momentum, you will see in here, is neutral. It was negative, but then turned neutral. So I don't have much in there. But look at this. You could see the market condition indicator in there. The reason this is so negative at a P3 red is because the internals, the longer term factors that are added in these variables, are pushing down quite hard. So you can see it went neutral a little bit, but then turned negative again. These conditions are subject to it moving down again, so we only see some modest upward chop and then moving down. Some of the evidence for the next few weeks that we see are starting to mount to the fact that there's not much more upside bounce in here. Here we can see some choppy neutral as the slim ribbon gets really choppy in here and close together. There's not a lot going on in here except for the market condition indicator continuing to give negative conditions in here. It almost got to what we call the swing zone, but then moved quickly down again. That just shows you the negative condition here in the bond market. And the sum of the evidence in there is suggestive of the fact that we could get a little bit more rally, but overall the risk rewards favor bonds declining, and we still have a target of 155 in the next several weeks in the 30-year. So now let's move over to the stock market, SPX. And I'm going to put on the daily chart, as you can see right there. But before I do that, I actually want to give you a little different view. And I'm going to bring in something that is absolutely phenomenal for you to see. And this is for our level 2, 3, and 4 members. And this is our live Zoom feed of our stock index report, 3 indexes. What we show you in here is the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell, all of that on a 15-minute chart. And what we put in is the key support resistance levels, target zones, and also acceleration zones. These are areas where if it gets into, there's just a void, and the odds are it'll move sharply down through it. Now, today it didn't hit any of those. It's traded in the morning, it just got a bullseye on that fib extension resistance level right here, came down to support, and then bounced. It was perfect action that you see in there. The NASDAQ did almost the same thing. It was a little stronger and couldn't get down there. And you can see what happened in here is the Russell was just so much weaker and hit that acceleration zone and bam, went straight down through it. This is just some of the best intraday information you'll ever have. It includes the reversal scout, which is that line in there, which gives you a very important sense of the momentum trend condition. And right now we're getting a rebound with the reversal scout still coming down. So there's a pretty good chance we're going to see a sell-off again coming in there. It kind of traded in the white zone all day in here, except for this one. That doesn't happen that often, but the importance of these levels are so great. And if you become a level 2, 3, or 4 member, you're going to be able to get this delivered to you every single day. So before I got into this, I wanted, being that I'm doing an extended look at our membership ideas today, I wanted to show you this just fantastic information on what is our live stream stock index report. And this charts are live right now. You don't need any special platform at all. You don't need anything. We're just going to send you this. If you're a level 2, 3, or 4 member and you're an index trader, you're going to love it. So I wanted to show you that. Now let's get into the look for the stock market right now for the coming week. Here is the S&P 500. And rising in this minor advancing rising phase right there, which is aligned with the dominant one right here. We were looking for a decline into the first week of the year and then another rally to new highs. It was absolutely perfect. We said December 7th, that's December 6th right there. So slim ribbon, you can see that we thought it would come down and test it, get a little bit lower than it did, maybe by 7 points, but it acted very much like we expected it to, and this rally going on right now, as it's still slightly up on the day. It looked like it was trying to reject, but still holding strong. You can see our projections in here. We're going to look forward to get a minor decline into the third week of January. One more rally towards the end of the January, and then some bigger correction coming out over here. What we see right now as we look at the adding up everything to get to the sum of the evidence is extremely strong momentum. You can see this big long green zone, this projection oscillator giving you the strength right over here, and all of these buys. Now what these are either buy or add-on levels, or they are simply telling you that the upward momentum is continuing very strong. You can see in here where you got the sells, and it actually did go down right over there. So we also see on the bottom the option bias indicator. Look at this, P3 green during this entire time. The conditions have been just phenomenally strong when you look at that. Now when I switch over and look at the 2-hour chart right over here, and remember this is all included with our level 4 charts, this is just giving you immense strength. You had all of this positive upward momentum going on in there, and that's where you get the positive trading bias when you get into that. When you're in here and you get oversold and then come back, this is a buy location right there, and you could see it popped very nicely there. Here you had a buy pending, but it got aborted by the momentum getting lost. And here it turned positive again, and then giving you this real good sign of strength. And now coming down and just showing you how strong it is it just not able to sell off, and you'll probably get another little buy in here before this thing rolls over. And look at the market condition indicator, just pinned up here between 85 and 97, just incredibly strong. This goes from 100 to minus 100, so huge strength in here that you see. Everything that I show you here, the sum of the evidence in the S&P 500, and very similar in the NASDAQ, though the Russell looks different, is that all indicators are positive. There is a likelihood of some minor pullbacks and then another attempted rally. Until we see these things change, that's not going to change. While I'm anticipating that will change in the next week or two based on the projections you see here, the market has to prove it to us. So we're looking for a peak and then a decline of some potentially 4 to 6 weeks after that, in through February, early March. So in other words, this cycle right in here, which is not projected, will be the riskiest part of this pattern that we look at in here. So overall, some of the evidence shows extreme strength. It's at extreme levels, and we talked about that very significantly at the beginning of the show, where we talked about the the valuations, the relative pricing of the stock market to the GDP. It's so excessive. And at some point, it's all going to fall from its own weight. But in the meantime, if you're trying to short it, well, you know how that feels. And we're just going to wait for the market to talk to us. You saw our projections. I hope that you enjoyed looking at that analysis, especially for our members that maybe don't look at those as extensively as I did right there. And if you want to have that in front of you every day, become a level 4 member. If you want to just have that Zoom feed in our entire library, you can just become a level 2 member and just write to Matt, and he'll send you a special for that one also. That's it. I hope you enjoyed all of this unbelievable information that I just shared with you. I'm not going to do this for a long time again. It'll be back to the shortened version next week. I just wanted you to get a good sense for this and see all the information that's in there. Please do become an askSlim member, premium level member, and help support this team that is able to bring all of this every single day, every single week to you. And kudos to this great team that I have here that is growing and growing the askSlim business well beyond me, Slim. 45 years at it, and I hope that you're learning a ton. That's it. I want you to be so careful. It is so crazy out there, and I'm always wishing you great trading.
Well, I'm going to the city and I'm going to do a city show. And I know all my fans want to learn how to make some dough. I've been